Hello and welcome to the first of the Outlands training videos that we are putting up. This one will be dealing specifically with the Outlands Service Portal, or the OSP, and how to submit and update events on it so that we can get onto the Kingdom Calendar, the Outlandish Herald, and the various social media pages, including but not limited to Facebook. We're sitting in a incognito view currently simply because that way we can go through the entire process without having to worry about if we are already logged in to something that would have more permissions. So you don't need to worry about that at all. If you have it favorited, fantastic. If you don't, you simply all you need to do is type in the Kingdom of the Outlands and it'll take you to the various results. The big one on top should be the actual Kingdom page. Hopefully you are familiar with this and you've seen it before. If not, welcome. The events is basically the Kingdom calendar. If you go in there, you will see the upcoming items that have been created thus far. This is actually the process that we will be discussing. Any of the various groups that you might want to try to get a hold of or find, the various officers for the kingdom, and then resources. This has a bunch of tools and resources for the populace as a whole. The one that we are interested in for the purpose of this is the Outland Service Portal. This will open up a new page. From here, you can do a number of things, including submit awards, submit an event for publication, and then officers have some other things that they will be doing on this page. What we are looking for and dealing with right now is to submit an event for publication. Once you get in here, as you saw, there's no login. You do not have to have a website login account or anything like that in order to submit an event for publication. Once you come down here, you will notice that the only fields that are necessary for having an event listed on the Kingdom calendar as a tentative are the ones that have the little asterisks. Not every event will have applicable information for every single section, and that's fine. You are required to have an event name, sponsoring group, the date, and if you scroll down a little bit more, the event steward information so that people know who to get in contact with if there are significant questions. If you are only setting up an event onto the calendar and you're not sure about the details, simply include it as tentative on the event name. So, for example, if you were going to be saying Battlemore 2030, you would say tentative, and then go down from there. Some of these are domains in that you will have an option given to you. Unknown is an acceptable option. Hopefully, by the time you are moving beyond just tentative, you'll be able to say that Outlands is hosting, or Arkel, or whatever is applicable. By default, it is a single day event, so you can just type in the date, and then you can say 9 to 5, for example. However, if it is a multi-day event, it'll give you the option of letting you tell it how long the event runs for. And then from there, you only need the event steward information. If you do not have a registered name, it does not matter. It is simply trying to get in contact with you. So if you have Robert of Outlands, it is acceptable as CA name because you will also be giving us legal name and an email that we can get in contact with you if there are questions. The rest of this information is amazing to have, but not required in order to submit it. As you get closer to your event, you will get more of this information and you will need to submit an update process. We will go over that shortly. If you have an event coming up and you have already beyond the tentative stage, that is fine. You do not have to have submitted a tentative version of this in the first place. For the venue name, please wait until you have confirmation. If you are still waiting to hear back or you're waiting on signatures or a check to change hands, please don't feel the requirement to include it at that stage. You can if you wish, but you do not have to. From there, you have options for a variety of aspects to include. Again, this is not required. If you have additional event stewards, you are absolutely free to include them. Again, you do not have to. Some events have multiple event stewards, some do not. Some events and some groups have an entire group putting together an event with each person focusing on a specific aspect. You can choose to include them, you do not have to include them. The promotional event information is where most of the information that is listed on the calendar that is applicable and readable in a direct text format comes from. This information is coming from the promotional information. Brief description is 200 characters or less. The Outland Herald will include the long description especially, and this will also be most of what is on the website and the social media platforms as well. This is updatable later on if something needs to change. This is absolutely fine to include the court schedule if you have one, or what the flavor text might be. For example, I believe it is Kerguelen's Midwinter that they have some amazing flavor text going. You do not have to have what we call flavor text. You can simply include the information for the event. That is absolutely fine. Every group does it differently. Even within a local branch, different events will be displayed and promoted differently based on what you have available at the time. That is perfectly acceptable. If you have web pages set up for the event specifically, feel free to include it. Again, this is not required. Same for promotional imagery. If you have a promotional image, please go ahead and include it, and we will endeavor to include it as well, such as Kerguelen's Midwinter and Dragon's Feast and Folly. But if you do not have it, that is not the end of the world. It will still be fine. Finally, we want to make sure that you are not a robot, at which point you can go ahead and click Submit. This event example has been changed simply so that once the events team gets it, they know that this is simply for a recording and no action is needed. If you'll notice, the event name is tutorial recording, no action needed. It's going to personal email as is necessary. I am not a robot, and submit. At which point it will think for a few moments and it will return you to the original splash page. The email that was listed as the recipient will receive essentially a receipt of what was posted. So for example, it was event submission for the Outlands. The name of the event that we listed was tutorial recording, no action needed. It then was sent to the relevant contacts. It included the information that we put in. If it was left blank, then it was left blank. It included the email and the recipient, and then included the long description. From there, the events team can go through and make edits. One of the things to keep in mind is to update your submission, please use this link. So anyone that was listed as a event steward in the list will get a copy of this. So later on, if you need to make an edit, you can click that link and it will bring you back here with the information preloaded that was included. If you do not have that link, it is not the end of the world. You can simply come back to the Outlands service portal, submit an event, and type in the same name. And go from there and type in the additional information. We do prefer that you build off of the existing one if at all possible. That way it's if we get multiple OSP submissions for the same event and they have conflicting information, we don't have to go and track down and figure out what's going on. So we prefer you to have this. We also hope that this makes the entire process easier. On the back end, this information is sent to the calendar deputy who will make the actual event on the Outlands calendar itself, the chronicler who will be building the Outlands Herald, the social media team who will build the events and website support for any issues that might come up. After that is complete, you have completed the event submission process on Outland Service Portal. We hope it has not been too difficult, and we hope that it has been useful. Thank you very much.